In a deeply emotional and rare public appearance, reclusive Irish singer Enya stepped forward to join mourners at the funeral of her elder sister, Moya Brennan, in County Donegal. The service, held in the heart of Ireland's Gaeltacht region, drew attention from across the world as some of Ireland's most iconic music figures came together to say their final goodbyes. Among the attendees were U2 frontman Bono, Andrea Corr of the Corrs, and several other prominent names from the Irish music scene, all gathered to honor a voice that helped define Celtic music for more than 5 decades. Moya Brennan, aged 73, passed away peacefully at her home in Gweedore, surrounded by her family. Her passing marked the end of an extraordinary musical journey that began in a small Irish-speaking village and went on to reach global audiences through her work with Clannad and her solo career. The funeral service took place at St. Patrick's Church in Meenaweel, near Crowley, County Donegal. From early morning, mourners gathered quietly in the surrounding area, with many traveling long distances to pay their respects. As the funeral procession arrived, a guard of honor was formed by local schoolchildren, community members, and a traditional brass band. The atmosphere was respectful and emotional, reflecting the deep connection Moya Brennan maintained with her home community throughout her life. Inside the church, the service was conducted in both Irish and English, reflecting her cultural roots and lifelong commitment to the Irish language. One of the most closely watched moments of the day was the arrival of Enya, who is widely known for her private lifestyle and rarely appears in public events. Her presence at the funeral drew quiet attention, as she joined family members to mourn her sister. Enya and Moya Brennan shared not only a family bond but also a shared musical heritage that helped shape modern Irish music. Their upbringing in Gweedore, a Gaeltacht region in County Donegal, was deeply rooted in music and language. Both sisters grew up in a household where performance and tradition were part of everyday life. While Enya went on to build a highly successful solo career, she maintained a private personal life, making her appearance at the funeral particularly significant for many observers. Moya Brennan was best known as the lead vocalist and harpist of the legendary Irish band Clannad, a group formed in 1970 with her siblings and relatives. The band became one of Ireland's most successful musical exports, blending traditional Irish folk sounds with contemporary arrangements. Over the years, Clannad released more than 25 albums and received numerous international awards, including Grammy, BAFTA, and Emmy recognition. Moya's voice became instantly recognizable, often described as the defining sound of Celtic music. Her influence extended far beyond Ireland, reaching audiences across Europe, the United States, and beyond. Alongside her work with Clannad, she also pursued a solo career, releasing multiple albums that further established her as a leading figure in world and folk music. Despite international success, Moya Brennan remained deeply connected to her roots in Gweedore. She lived much of her life in the same region where she was born, maintaining close ties with her local community. She was also known for her involvement in youth music initiatives, including local workshops and mentoring programs for emerging musicians. Her efforts helped nurture new talent in Donegal and preserve traditional Irish music for future generations. Her family confirmed that she passed away peacefully at home on Monday, April 13, 2026, after living with pulmonary fibrosis, a long-term lung condition. She is survived by her husband Tim Jarvis, her children Eiling and Paul, and her granddaughter Eden, along with her mother and siblings. The funeral brought together several major figures from Irish and international music. U2 members Bono, The Edge, Adam Clayton, and Larry Mullen Jr. attended the service, reflecting the deep respect Moya Brennan held within the global music community. Andrea Corr of the Corrs was also present, along with Daniel O'Donnell, who performed during the service, adding a musical tribute that resonated with mourners inside the church. Each of these artists represented different eras and styles of Irish music, yet all came together in recognition of Moya Brennan's influence and legacy. During the service, several personal items belonging to Moya Brennan were placed at the altar, each representing a part of her life and career. Her harp was displayed as a symbol of her musical identity, along with family photographs and a badron drum linked to her community work. A lanyard from her final performance and a prayer book were also included, alongside a Donegal GAA jersey representing her local pride. As the service began, a recording of her song Peacemaker was played, featuring the voice of her son Paul recorded during his childhood. The moment added a deeply personal layer to the farewell and reflected the strong family connections that defined her life. Across more than 5 decades, Moya Brennan recorded over 25 albums and performed on stages around the world. Her work with Clannad helped introduce Irish traditional music to international audiences, influencing generations of musicians. Her solo work further expanded her artistic reach, blending spiritual, folk, and contemporary elements in a way that remained uniquely her own. She was often referred to as the First Lady of Celtic music, a title that reflected both her vocal style and her cultural impact. Her ability to bring emotional depth and cultural authenticity into her performances made her one of the most respected voices in Irish music history. Following the funeral mass, Moya Brennan was laid to rest at Magheragalan Cemetery in Gweedore. The burial site holds special significance, as it is located in the same area where she was born and spent most of her life. The final journey from church to cemetery was accompanied by quiet reflection from those in attendance, marking the end of a public farewell and the beginning of private mourning for the family. The scene reflected both sorrow and gratitude for a life that had a lasting cultural impact. In the days following her passing, tributes poured in from across the world. Irish political leaders described her as a cultural icon whose music helped shape Ireland's global identity. Fellow musicians and fans shared memories of her voice, her performances, and her contribution to Celtic music. Messages of condolence highlighted not only her artistic achievements, but also her dedication to her community and her humility, despite international fame. Her influence was remembered not only in Ireland, but in countries where her music had reached and inspired audiences. Moya Brennan's influence on Irish and global music remains significant. Her ability to blend traditional Irish sounds with modern production helped define a genre that continues to inspire artists today. From her early days in Gweedore to international stages, her journey reflects both artistic excellence and cultural preservation. She maintained authenticity in her work while achieving worldwide recognition, a balance that made her stand out in the music industry. Her passing at the age of 73 marks the end of a remarkable era in Irish music history. However, her recordings, her performances, and her contribution to Clannad ensure that her voice will continue to be heard for generations to come.